Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Diego Dario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Denise Tan, and in tonight's Game Plan, we'll hear more about the country's preparations for the 2023 FIBA World Cup with SBP President Al Espanlillo and Executive Director of the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup, David Crocker.
And we'll break down the key takeaways after the Gilas Pilipinas versus India matchup in the 2022 FIBA Asia Cup. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The country is not wasting any time preparing for its hosting duties for the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Our very own Paulo Del Rosario sat down with SBP President Alfredo Espanlillo, who shares what we can expect in the sporting event next year. Let's watch this.
Hello, I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and joining me today is one of the most powerful men I know. That's right, Sir Al Panlillo, the SBP President. Sir Al, thank you very much for joining us here today and here to talk about the upcoming FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. This is going to be an incredible moment for all of the basketball-loving Filipino fans out there. Sir, how would you describe to our foreign fans, the foreign visitors that are going to come here to the country who haven't experienced the love of the Filipinos for basketball, what can they expect when they come over here to enjoy the FIBA Basketball World Cup?
Well, two things. I think from a fan point of view, knowledgeable fans of basketball, passionate fans of basketball, and they will see and hear them during the games. Even if Gilas is not playing, I think Filipinos appreciate good basketball, follow the best players of basketball globally, and they will appreciate that, and they will show the appreciation and understanding of the game. The second thing I think they will experience is we're known for Filipino hospitality and the warmth of the Filipino, and I think they will see that. They'll see that off court. When they go around in the venues, people will be, with big smiles on their faces, welcoming them to the stadiums. And if they do have a chance to come early or stay behind during the World Cup, to even see the country, go to the islands, see how beautiful the Philippines is, and really showcasing the Philippines to the foreigners. No?
Sir Al, this is a big challenge for the country in terms of hosting. It's a big challenge for the SBP. I know you've done your homework, and I've known that you have looked at how the previous hosts have handled the events. Could you tell us a bit about what you've learned from the previous hostings that you have applied and will apply in the upcoming World Cup?
Yeah, we've learned a lot from. We sent a team to the World Cup in China to really just observe and learn from the hosting. And when the team learned a lot from that, with the help of FIBA, of course, David Crocker, for one, who's been very helpful to the Philippine team in terms of making sure that we're able to host this well. That's a lot of learning during the trip. But things change, that was pre-pandemic. And obviously, we also learned during the windows where we're hosting the bubbles in Clark and in Pampanga. And we learned a lot also from that. And of course, recently, the hosting of the windows is a learning to us. I guess the learning from the observation in China and the actual delivery of the games that we have done, those are the key learnings that we will bring forward to the World Cup. Obviously, FIBA is a big partner in this, in making sure that we are able to host it well, and they are guiding us also in a lot of these things. But really, observation in China and the actual hosting has helped us a lot in preparation for next year. But obviously, next year is a much, much bigger tournament than just a bubble. So, and outside the court, there are a lot of things that we have to do. We have to manage the hotels, the accommodations, transportation, security. So we actually formed an LOC. And we have three major pillars in that. One is competition, one is the admin side, and we're also hosting the National Congress for FIBA before the games. So it's a major event for us to be organizing. And I've put really a big team around it. And We will expand that as we get closer to the World Cup, and we will bring in volunteers.
Sir Al, I know you're the type of guy to rise up and meet with challenges, and the challenge that you're facing being one of the lead hosts rather here for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. I'm sure there are numerous ones, but what do you feel is the biggest challenge that you're most excited to meet here in the upcoming 2023 World
Well,
Cup?
obviously, we'd like to have the best hosting ever. No, I mean, we might not beat other countries in terms of technology, but I think what we're after is the best fan experience for any, not only Filipino fans, but global fans to come to the Philippines. And remember that in 2023, we were in the Philippines and the experience was just excellent. And we want to go back to the Philippines, not just to watch basketball, but just to see the country again. And I think that's a privilege, I think, that we have being lead host of this World Cup, showcasing the Philippines as a major destination, not only for people to visit, but for hosting such big global events.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Al Panlilio, the SBB president, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Paolo. Thank you.
After the break, we'll hear more about the preparations from the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup Executive Director, David Crocker. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game.
Paulo Del Rosario, and joining me right now is the Executive Director for the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. We wanted to make that title longer, but that's what we have. Mr. David Crocker. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's always great to be here in the Philippines.
Absolutely. It's always great to have you here. And, you know, we're going to talk about the FIBA Basketball World Cup that's just around the corner, really. I'm sure for a few people, it just could be a few blinks, and we're finally there. And it's going to be a special experience. I've been to a World Cup. It is an incredible event. But what do you feel would make this one in particular special?
Look, it's got a few unique characteristics, World Cup 23, and the first part of it's 3 host nations. We've never had 3 host nations before, and the way that the 3 host nations are working together to create one major event is really special. So no matter whether you go to Okinawa, whether you go to Jakarta, or you're here in Manila, you're going to have an amazing connected World Cup experience. So that's going to be one thing initially which makes it really special. When you come here to Manila, we all know the passion, the love, the puso for basketball. So for those who are going to be travelling from all over the world to be here in Manila, they're going to feel what we've all talked about. They're going to get the experience itself. So that's something for our fans from all around the world to look forward to.
What learnings can we take from the most recent ones that we've actually gone through in terms of making sure that this World Cup is better, a step up to what we've had in the past?
Look, that's one of the things that MVP, the great supporter of basketball here in the Philippines, but also with FIBA, has set these ambitions around. We want to be the best World Cup that's ever been delivered. When we went to China in 2019, that was a big step for us. We've gone out to 32 teams, we're playing in 8 cities, and we've got some of the best talent showing up to play. And now we want to take it to the next level again. And I think the opportunity here in the Philippines and Okinawa and also in Jakarta is really about this fan experience, this engagement. One of the big steps we made in China was about the player experience. So making sure that these great players, they come to the country and they get to just have this amazing experience beyond just going to the hotel, going to the game, and then back to the hotel. So they can just really relax, be themselves, and enjoy representing their country, but also the experiences of a new city. So that's one part, is this player experience. But I think what we can do with the fan experience now is something that I'm a little bit excited about. We have a great partner globally in Smart, a Filipino technology company, an innovative company. So we're really looking forward to some of the things that we can do together to really bring the fans closer to the game. So I think that's one of the big things for us. It's going to be the fan experience.
You mentioned we don't know if there's how possible it is to increase the level of love of basketball here in the Philippines, but we're going to try and reach that. How important is it digitally to make sure that shows as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to a whole new audience, a whole new younger demographic who consume sport in a different way. And that's where a partnership with a company like Smart is really quite interesting to us as we evolve and we learn from the industry how we can connect and the stories we've got to tell. So, this is going to be a big part of World Cup 23, the next evolution of it. How do we engage with fans? And it's exciting. We're going to play in one of the biggest indoor arenas in the world, Philippine Arena for the playoffs. But that's not going to be the biggest audience. That's going to be 52 to 55,000 people live, but the really big audience is outside. So we've got to be able to produce this amazing content in close, show the emotion, the passion in the game of the players, the fans, so that everybody outside can also get excited about it. So, the digital platforms that are available, they're really going to connect us to another whole audience. And really, we think because of the way that we can show the game is going to create this whole love with new people outside of the sport currently.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself. Get your tickets now.
Yes.
The earlier, the better, and be part of this amazing event happening in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Crocker, the Executive Director for FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023. Thank you very much for having a chat with me, and I cannot wait to see what you have in store in the next coming months.
Thanks, Paolo. Appreciate it a lot.
that was David Crocker, 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup Executive Director on the preparations for the event. Now, let's turn over to Gilas Pilipinas head coach Chot Reyes to hear more about the training and the preparation of the team for the 2023 FIBA World Cup.
The build-up towards the FIBA Basketball World Cup continues for Gilas Pilipinas men, with the next step being their stint in the FIBA Asia Cup here in Jakarta, Indonesia.
And then whatever happens, Bennett, let's spin back on defense and then switch tayo all the way, Let's switch hard.
For head coach and program director Chot Reyes, even with the loss versus Lebanon to start their campaign, he's seeing a lot of positives and a lot of developments coming from the younger players.
Very pleased. Like I said, the important part of this campaign is to see their development and to expose them to top-level competition, because that's the only way they're going to learn, right? And so I thought that Kevin Kembao battled. He struggled, but he battled. Carl Tamayo, you saw how well he played, and even Gio Chu. But again, the other guys like SJ Belangel, even Renza Bando coming off the bench, I thought performed very creditably. And like I said, this is the first step towards hopefully a long journey in the development.
Even though it is his first game back as head coach of the team after temporarily passing over the reins to Coach Nenad Vucinic, Coach Chot does not think that there were a lot of adjustments as he stayed connected to the team.
I was in every practice. I attended practices, all of most of the meetings. I missed one or two, but I was in their practices, and we're always in touch with the coaching staff, with Coach Nenad, and we wanted to make sure that everything that Coach Nenad did and Coach Jong did to prepare the team, we are able to implement and execute here.
For this stretch of the campaign for Gilas Pilipinas men, it has been the youngsters carrying the fight as the collegiate leagues are currently on a break. And for the Gilas head coach, it is good to see the improvements, but they will need to stay patient and continue to trust the process.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the development of the younger guys, but having players come in and out, like now we have 3 new guys, it's always going to be a matter of assimilation and integration, right? So we just have to be patient with each other, and we have to make sure that people understand what their roles are and what is needed from them. And most importantly, we have to keep their spirits up, but they cannot be discouraged by, Kevin didn't score to this game. We cannot be discouraged by that. Those little things that come across, which is part of a regular development of any player. In the end, we just need to keep at it, just keep at it, and then keep our eyes on the big picture.
And when we return, we'll break down today's matchup between Gilas Pilipinas and India in the 2022 FIBA Asia Cup. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
welcome back to the game. Let's shift over to the latest update on our national team at the 2022 FIBA Asia Cup. There you can see the second matchup against India, 101-59, a dominant performance and win by Gilas Pilipinas, 42-point deficit between the two teams. William Navarro leading the way, 18 points, 6 of 7 from the field, as well as 30 Ravenna, 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 of 8 from the field. So both these players also playing almost perfect basketball. And to break down everything, of course, hindi na tayo lalayo. We will get to talk to Diego himself para malaman natin how the things went down in tonight's game. Ikaw nag-cover eh.
Yes,
diba?
I called the game. And grabe, ang ganda ng game ng Gilas. They started off a little slow. Both teams actually, I think the first 4 minutes, walang field goal. But after that, Gilas never looked back. You know, they scored a lot of three-pointers. They moved the ball very well. They had 23 assists. And ang leading assist guy natin, it's not a point guard. It's a big guy, 6'6", 6'7", Kevin Kiambao with 9 assists. It was a joy to watch the offense of Gilas Pilipinas.
And what's funny about those 9 assists you were telling me is lahat no look.
Oh, no look. Mahiyain si Kevin Kiambao. All his passes were no look. But one thing that stands out also, even if they were up 20, they were up 30 points, in that third quarter, I think they held India to just 10 points. And that says a lot about the character of this team. Even if they're up, they still do the right things on defense and on offense, play the right kind of basketball.
I want to talk about the top performers too, because Will Navarro, he scored 18 points. He did that in 16 minutes.
That's
30
wild.
scored 17 and did it in 18 minutes. So just the efficiency of these two players.
Well, when you talk about efficiency, Will Navarro is nothing new to that word. And ginawa to ni Will Navarro, I think he was fielded in halfway mark of the second quarter. And he still had 18 points, just missing one shot. I think he made all his shots after that one miss. And when you talk about 30, even after the bad fall in their last game, even after having that cut on his head, grabe yung puso ni 30 Ravenna. He bounced back right away, led this team 17 points and 5 rebounds to start off that strong gameplay by Gilas Pilipinas.
And we need to take note as well that all these players actually was on the positive side of their plus-minus.
Yeah.
So having that efficiency, what is your takeaway from this game?
I think they moved the ball very well. They played as a team, both defensively and offensively. They had 23 assists, as mentioned. 4 players in double digits. And when you talk about their defense, they forced 23 turnovers for India. So yung depensa nila never let down all the way from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. And one thing we can bring to the next game is our three-point shooting. 46% tayo in that game against India.
I was actually supposed to ask about that. It's a huge game on Sunday against New Zealand. What do you think the Gilas Pilipinas team can bring to that game aside from the three-point shooting you just mentioned?
Well, I think if they can play excellent defense, if they can force more turnovers against this New Zealand team, I mean, hindi na tayo bago when going up against New Zealand. Although, this New Zealand team is very different from the qualifying round that we played against them. Wala dito sila Webster and Brewster. So this is a totally different team, and hopefully, Gilas Pilipinas plays better here against New Zealand.
Of course, we're looking forward to that. And thank you, Diego, for sharing with us your thoughts. I'm sure we're all excited to see Gilas Pilipinas back in action, and that will be this Sunday, July 17 at 9 p.m. as they get set for a rematch against New Zealand. And now, Hoop fans, Asian basketball continues in Jakarta. 16 teams, including our very own Gilas Pilipinas, will aim for supremacy in the continent. Which country will reign in the clash? Catch the FIBA Asia Cup 2022 from July 12 to 24 live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Denise Tan.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Diego Dario, and this has been The Game.